They even walked ahead of Harry and announced, "Make way for the heir of Slytherin, seriously evil wizard."
Harry, you would have done well in Slytherin. No, I'm a Gryffindor. Turns around. Bird dies. Whose bird? Dumbledore.
Welcome back, witches, wizards, and muggles, to Scripps Corner. I almost forgot to say that. I am Jeremiah.
And I'm Andrew, and we are back in action with Chapter 12, the Polyjuice Potion in the Chamber of
Which
Secrets.
isn't as big of a chapter as you would think it would be.
No.
A little weird, a little strange.
No. We do get some good insights. We get some insights that I think are pretty, exciting. They're very titillating little lines that we get from Draco later on, but overall,
it could have been bigger. This
Could
is
have
the
been so
Polyjuice Potion.
it could have been so good.
It's not an illegal potion, but it's a frowned upon potion.
I definitely feel like it's illegal in Hogwarts.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like it's illegal,
Especially
in
for
Hogwarts.
students.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry.
No. Well, let's do this. Let's jump right in. Jeremiah, hit us with that intro music to the 7-word summary.
Oh, love it. I had a hard time coming up with a 7-word summary for this one. So I think this will work. One little tussle, and now you're purring.
Yeah, mine is Dumbledore's letdown and the half-hearted plan.
I mean, to be fair, aren't most of their plans half-hearted?
Well, I feel like later in the series they are not. But this one seemed
I know
a
later
bit...
they mention, we make a plan, all hell goes loose, and here we are.
and yes.
All right, so we'll get into the 7-chapter notables. These were kind of hard, too. I mean, there's a lot going on, but not so much at the same time. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to pick which one, but I think these will work. Number 1, the Sorting Hat's location is revealed. Number 2, did that just catch on fire?
Seamus, where are you?
He's there somewhere. 3, Jenny might be frightened of the mention of heir of Slytherin. 4, can't forget the Dursley present to Harry. 5, Hermione's fight with Millicent Bulstrode has many layers. 6, Slytherin's common room password is what? 7, Draco's not-so-secret hiding spot. And now, Andrew, go ahead and recap us. Catch us up to where we're at.
Okay, so we left off at the dueling club. And at the end of the dueling club, obviously, everyone remembers that Gilderoy was worthless as a professor, again, and instructor. Harry is able to speak. We find out that he is able to speak parcel tongue. He's what we call a parcel mouth. He goes to find Justin. Justin's in hiding because they think that Harry might be the heir of Slytherin, and Justin let it slip that he's a muggle to Harry, so now he's afraid. And at the end of the chapter, Harry, while walking into the hall, trips over Justin's petrified body, and Sir Nearly Headless Nick is floating, but instead of being opaque, transparent, like the ghosts are, he's more like a burning, he's like a fire black, like a smoky black. And he too is not conscious. So everybody walks out, sees Harry there with a petrified Justin and whatever Nearly Headless Nick is. And McGonagall's like, Potter, this is out of my hands. So they go to Dumbledore's office.
Yes, and that's where we get our first paragraph. They stepped off the stone staircase at the top, and Professor McGonagall rapped on the door. It opened silently, and they entered. Professor McGonagall told Harry to wait and left him there alone, which, as we've learned, is the best thing you could do with Harry Potter because he will not get into any mischief.
Stop leaving that man alone. And so this is the first time that we're seeing inside Dumbledore's office in the series. It's pretty cool. Well, really, I think we assume that Dumbledore has an office there, but it's the first time that we learn that this is Dumbledore's office, and Harry's
I mean, we've talked about Dumbledore. Yeah, we've talked about Dumbledore before, but very vaguely.
Well, he's not been a prominent character. Professor McGonagall has been more prominent than Dumbledore. Snape has been more prominent than Dumbledore.
Yeah.
He's been in book 1 and really thus far in book 2. He's there, but other than the chapter 1 of book 1, and then the hospital wing scene at the end of book 1. And then now, this book, okay, when Mrs. Norris, Dumbledore, they're there and Dumbledore's doing the magic. Really, outside of that, he's just been a background player in the story.
Yeah, and is it mentioned that the teachers and professors live at Hogwarts, or is it just kind of insinuated?
At this point, because it's a boarding school, you would assume, because Snape has been up at night, Filch, he's been up at night. McGonagall, when they got caught in book 1,
this is kind of insinuated.
It's kind of insinuated, but you would assume, like all boarding schools, professors either live very close or on campus.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's the first time that we, it's confirmed Dumbledore is there, but the office isn't like
once you know where his office is, you can't miss it. You can't miss it anymore.
there's the gargoyle there.
Yeah.
So his office, it's not like any of the other professors' offices. As we go throughout the book and the book series, his office is very Dumbledore. Right? It's very Dumbledore. But we kind of see that theme. Snape's office, very dark, very dreary. Gilderoy's office is very bright. Umbridge's office was very pink. So we kind of get this theme of the offices.
Do we ever see McGonagall's office?
So that's a good question. I assume that we do, but I don't think it's ever described.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to pay attention to that, yeah.
Yeah, we see Slughorn's office. We see, obviously, Remus's office.
Which is one of the best characters in the book.
Remus is amazing, yeah. So Gilderoy's, Umbridge's, Dumbledore. Yeah.
We even see Mad-Eye Moody's office. Huh.
We do, yeah, we do.
I know Harry's like in her office at one point, but
I think he's in her office a couple of times, but it's just it's just like
it doesn't really show anything. Not that
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to pay attention to that.
Well, yeah, we'll have to pay attention to that when we get there.
Yeah.
So Dumbledore's office was much more inviting than obviously Snape's office or any of the classrooms. The book describes Dumbledore's office as a large, beautiful circular room full of funny little noises. Several curious silver instruments stood on spindle-like tables, whirling and emanating little puffs of smoke. Walls were covered with portraits of old headmasters and headmistresses, all of whom were snoozing gently in their frames, which is kind of weird because classes were going on at this point, so it's not the middle of the night or anything like that. But there's also an enormous claw-footed desk, and sitting on the shelf behind it is a shabby, tattered wizard's hat, the Sorting Hat.
Yeah, so this is a question I see from Harry Potter fans quite often. Chapter notable number 1. Where does the Sorting Hat go when it's not being used by the students or entertaining the students in the Great Hall? Which, if you've only watched the movies, you know nothing about the Sorting Hat being entertaining.
Is this scene not in the movies?
I don't think the Sorting Hat sings at all in the movies.
Yeah, but he doesn't go and put the hat on in the movies?
Yeah, that's in the movies, but In the books, the Sorting Hat has like a character.
Well,
but
yeah. They don't know
yeah.
the singing and all
Yeah.
that jazz, but yeah.
Yeah, I think the first time I read the books, I went, what? Wait, what? Like completely unexpected. So the answer to this, it's pretty simple, and a little bit disappointingly simple, I guess, but it's still an answer. It's always stored in the current headmaster or headmistress's office. Simple answer,
Ding.
but it's an answer. Yeah. That being said, any student going into the headmaster or headmistress's office would see what's in there and not touch a thing, right? Especially if it's their first time. Not Harry. No, not a chance.
Come on, Harry.
With this whole Parselmouth situation, Harry had been wondering if he had been placed in the right house. Since talking to snakes means there's a dark wizard attribute, and generally dark wizards come from Slytherin, and the Sorting Hat did consider putting him in Slytherin. Naturally, he just put the hat right on, just to make sure.
And I get it though, right? I get it.
Yeah.
It's the air of
Would you go in
Slytherin.
Dumbledore's office and be like, hey, let me touch stuff? Like, maybe possibly the Sorting Hat.
That's a good question. Yeah, you
But
look
still,
around.
I'm in, like, Dumbledore's office. Like, I can't touch anything.
Yeah, but I think at this point it's almost willing. You're like, I'm gonna risk it. If Dumbledore comes out, be like, what are you doing? You're like, look. Well, he would lie to Dumbledore, number one, which I don't know why.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
It just fell.
It jumped on my head. Crazy hat, right? Crazy hat.
It's just like Harry to do this, so.
Yeah. So Harry puts on the Sorting Hat, and I would love more backstory. Maybe we do a deep dive on the Sorting Hat, because he's been around for 1,000 years.
We do. We do have it's been so long since I've done one. We have a Squibbler coming up. I think the next episode will be a Squibbler.
I like
this.
it.
Yeah.
So he puts the hat on, and I love the hat. Be in your bonnet, Potter. which is that. I don't know if it's because I've listened to the book so much, but I love that quote. And if somebody comes and they're like they have a question, I'll be like, be in your bonnet, Potter. This is pretty cool. This may originate from the 16th century, when Alexander Douglas wrote about someone being in bed with a head full of bees. Not literally, but metaphorically, which we've all been in this situation, right? That would be a terrible nightmare. Basically, you're trying to go to bed, but you can't take your mind off something, which perfectly describes the way Harry Potter feels in this situation. So he's like, be in your bonnet, Potter. And Harry's always like, yo, are you sure you made the right decision back when you... And he's like, oh, yeah. I stand by my decision. You would have done well in Slytherin. And that's not what Harry wanted to hear. So he puts the hat back, and you're wrong. Which kind of sounds like Harry, no matter what he said, you were looking for one answer. Which I think we all would. Slytherin would have been cool, but no, you're definitely a Gryffindor.
But it's almost like he's been so unsure about it that this moment he's like, no, I'm Gryffindor.
He's like, I am Gryffindor.
I don't care what anybody says.
I'm Gryffindor through and through, yeah.
Yeah, so I like that he was 100%, no, I'm Gryffindor. That's good. That's good. So you talked about all kinds of things in this office. There's something else that's in this office. Chapter notable number 2. It's a bird. Fox the Phoenix. Well, at least for a few seconds it was a bird, because it caught fire and burst into ash and flame because Seamus Finnegan was somewhere around there.
Yes.
I'm just kidding. He wasn't. But then Dumbledore showed up and caught Harry at the scene of a crime yet again. Harry. Harry.
Harry.
Harry.
Harry. Now, what's funny about that happening right then? Thus far, this book has been a series of Harry being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yes, Harry Potter.
Right.
He's in the wrong place
He's
again.
in the wrong place at the wrong time. Harry, you would have done well in Slytherin. No, I'm a Gryffindor. Turns around. Bird dies. Whose bird? Dumbledore's bird. And you're just
You
like,
sure you're a Gryffindor, bro?
you're like, what is happening? So Dumbledore walks in as this bird is like on fire. And Harry's like, no, your bird just burst into fire, into flames. And Dumbledore's like, oh, it's about time, Harry. He was looking terrible for a long time. And it was about time for this to happen. He explained that Fawkes is a phoenix. And phoenixes burst into flames when it's their time to die and are reborn from the ashes. And phoenixes are not... they're not singular to the Harry Potter franchise. They've been a mythical creature all throughout history.
Okay.
And I think it fits in so great.
It does, especially with all the attributes it has.
Yeah. So Harry watched as Fawkes was reborn from the ashes while Dumbledore explained some of the Phoenix's characteristics, which I think this is very notable. This would be like a book notable. Such as their tears have healing powers. They're able to lift very heavy loads. And my favorite, they make very, very loyal companions or pets. And so I've talked about this on the podcast before. I've started writing an 8th book fan fiction for Harry Potter after the Battle of Hogwarts.
Hey, when you finish that book, let's make it an episode.
Bro, I would have to dig it out. I haven't written in it in years.
Or make it several episodes. We'll do a whole review on your book.
I like it. But one of the things that I talk about in that book, when he says that phoenixes are very loyal pets, very loyal companions, I tie it into the wand chooses the wizard. And phoenixes are very magical creatures. So phoenixes choose their master.
Okay.
And they choose it on their master's attributes. And so in the book
that thing made you forget everything.
no, I just got to tell her.
That's cool. I had to silence my phone too.
I know. Well, I'm glad I didn't. It was my wife. So in there, when Hedwig dies, spoiler alert, Fawkes immediately searches for Harry.
Oh.
Or plans to find Harry, but knows that he's not ready yet. And so something happens in my book where Fawkes chooses Harry near the end of the book. So anyway.
There we go. Yeah.
So anyway, so very cool. So Hagrid burst into Dumbledore's office to defend Harry. Obviously, he knows why he's there, and he's like, "Hey, Professor Dumbledore, it wasn't Harry. I was talking to him in the corridor seconds before the attack." And Dumbledore's trying to get a word in, and Hagrid is holding the dead rooster, right? And he goes, "It wasn't him." And he goes, Hagrid, I know it wasn't Harry." And Harry is like, You really don't? You don't think so? And Hagrid walks out. He's like, "Oh, so sorry, sir. So sorry, sir." So he leaves. And Harry was like, "Oh, you really don't think it was me?" And he goes, "No, I don't think it's you." And then Dumbledore's like, "Okay, that's cool. I don't think it's you. But I really need to talk to you. Is there anything that you need to tell me at all?" Well, Harry starts going through these things, right? "Oh, I'm not going to tell you I'm a parcel mouth because that's weird. I'm not going to tell you that people think I'm the heir of Slytherin. I'm not going to tell you about the Polyjuice Potion. I'm not going to tell you about our plan, all this stuff." So Harry says no. And then that's the end of our time with Dumbledore.
Yeah.
So all we learned...
This is actually very important, though. This comes up later in the book.
Yes.
It's almost the same exact scenario. But
so disappointing that we didn't get... Which is why Dumbledore's let down. Like, I wanted so much more from that interaction.
Well,
and we just weren't
like
privy
we've
to it
talked
yet.
about Dumbledore gives people the benefit of the doubt to a fault. Like he's really quick to be like, "All right, I trust you."
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good trait, but all
Yeah.
good traits can have faults.
Yeah.
I mean,
And we learn through and through the series that Dumbledore isn't going to force Harry to the answer. He's going to let Harry figure most everything out on his own.
no, he's. Some people might think his teaching, the way he teaches, is weird, but I think it's respectable the way he teaches people. Like I don't know, he gives them a chance to figure it out,
Yeah.
and he doesn't push it. He's like,
It's also one of the reasons people
it's
dislike Dumbledore.
yeah.
Like people that dislike Dumbledore, they're like, man, he really left these guys hanging. But it's like that. That is.
I view it as a good thing because
It's a great thing.
I
mean,
think
you look at parents. Look at parents nowadays. The parents that do everything for their kids turn out spoiled rotten. The parents that let their kids learn, grow, fail, learn, grow, fail, learn, grow, fail. Those are the ones that go out and they've matured, they've grown, they have confidence in themselves. And I think that's what Dumbledore was doing with.
it's hard to find. It's hard to find that when you have a kid and you're like, where's the limit where I should just stop and relax and
tough.
what rules should I cut? Oh man.
I can hear Vernon Dursley right now. Yes, that's what we were doing with the boy. We were just letting him figure it out. We didn't want to give him all the answers. We wanted him to figure it out and grow up, be a man.
Well, it's like when the kid's gonna stick the fork in the socket and the mom's like, no, and dad's like, no, wait. Let's see what happens. Yeah, see, he won't be doing that again. So, but Dumbledore, I think it's pretty obvious, and maybe some people think no, it's not. I think in the first year, he really studied Harry. Like he was just kind of paying attention to him and seeing his attributes and the kind of person Harry was. And I think, Dumbledore knew what Harry was going to do. He saw how Harry was, and Dumbledore knew something other people didn't.
And even before first year, we had Mrs. Fig on the ground. Right, so we had Mrs. Fig watching Harry.
Yeah, he already knew.
So he knows.
Harry.
But he, I often wonder when, because spoiler alert, mute this right now. I often wonder when Dumbledore knew that number one, Harry knew that Harry was going to have to find Horcruxes. When he knew that Harry was like, oh, you're the chosen one. Neither can live while the other survives.
Yeah, I think he knew Harry was he just, I think he was kind of hoping he was wrong.
Sure.
And then when he knew Harry had to destroy the Horcruxes, I don't think he knew that was going to happen until he got that curse on him.
Well, definitely sixth year. Professor Slughorn's memory, they're talking about, how many Horcruxes are there? Even Dumbledore didn't know how many there were. But he did know.
We're getting in too deep. We're getting too deep.
Man, I love it.
We'll get there when we get there.
We'll get there. See you in a couple years for that.
Yes. So let's get back on track. Out of all the attacks that happened, everybody was more worried about the attack on Nearly Headless Nick. I mean, it's a little strange that a ghost can be attacked. I mean, you can't touch a ghost. You can't kill something that's already dead, right? So the people that found, I love this, the only people that found humor at Harry being rumored as the heir of Slytherin were the Weasley twins. Mm-hmm. And I keep saying it, these guys are like the unsung heroes, quote unquote heroes of these books. I mean, they're just, they know how to break the tension, like at the right time. Absolutely. And with the right attitude. It's great. So I'm pretty sure they thought the whole thing was ridiculous and believed Harry Potter till the end. They even walked ahead of Harry and announced, Make way for the heir of Slytherin, seriously evil wizard coming through. Percy was deeply disapproving of this behavior.
It's not a laughing matter.
Oh, get out of the way, Percy. Harry's in a hurry. He's off to the Chamber of Secrets for a cup of tea with his fang servant.
Yes.
I just love how they it's just and it made Harry just feel so much better that they thought this was as ridiculous as he thought it was. They didn't even
And you
need
know what's
to
funny?
like Harry about
Yeah.
this like is there any truth? They didn't even need to ask. They just knew.
Yeah. You
That's
know what's
great.
funny is they don't know. We don't know what Slytherin's monster is.
Yeah.
But they just say, "Oh, he needs to go with his fanged serpent."
Oh.
Right? So in book one, they
I
had
never even
bewitched
noticed that.
they had bewitched snowballs. I mean, it's an easy guess to assume that Slytherin's monster would be some sort of serpent.
Okay, yeah,
Right.
that's
But
true.
but in book one, they had bewitched snowballs to hit Voldemort in the face, and now in book two, they're guessing that
They're
it's
smarter.
a
They're
fake.
way
Yeah,
smarter than they get
yeah.
credit for. It's just
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, and we love them. No, like
Yeah.
no matter what Fred and George were doing, they always had time to jokingly say, Harry was going to go down to the Chamber of Secrets, have a spot of tea with this monster down there, or who his next victim was going to be. And the fact that somebody thought this was ridiculous as Harry
Yeah,
was,
that's great.
Harry thought it was, lifted Harry's mood, which is a beautiful thing. So, but there was one person that didn't like the attention, negative or comical, that Harry was getting, and that's Malfoy.
Well, we forgot to mention Jenny seemed frightened at the mention of the heir of Slytherin. So that's chapter notable number 3.
Yeah, chapter notable number 3. She's Ginny's on edge this book. So
Yeah.
Malfoy doesn't like all of this attention, but the Polyjuice Potion, it's a brewing, and it is almost ready.
Oh yeah, that was short too.
This
So-
bullet point right here is wrong.
What?
Whatever you're about to say, it seems the only students who stayed for the holidays were Harry, Hermione, Ron, Fred, George, and Peach. Those are wrong.
Is it?
Oh yeah. Like when they so in the Great Hall, when they have food, the Slytherins are sitting at a Slytherin table. When they go into the Slytherin common room, there are other Slytherins sitting there. They make it sound like a lot of people are sticking around.
Ah,
Because Slytherins are because you remember in later books, there's only 13 of them there, and they're sitting around one
yeah.
table. But here
Okay,
they're all sitting at different tables,
I'll change the wording.
which is
So-
kind of crazy.
It seems there was quite a bit of students who stayed at the school, but there was, most importantly, Harry, Hermione, Ron, Fred, George, Percy, Jenny, Malfoy, and his friends Crabbe and Goyle. They had the whole...
Can I throw a pop quiz your way?
Yeah, hold on. Just let me get the music that's supposed to be surprising. Oh, I can't believe it.
Why? What were the 2 reasons that Percy, Fred, George, Ron, and Ginny stayed at Hogwarts? One main reason, and then there's a minor reason.
It could not have anything to do with his father facing inquiry at work, right?
No.
I don't think I've ever put any thought to this.
Well, it's in this chapter.
Is it?
It's in the book.
What was the second question?
Well, it's one question. So there's a reason that they all stayed, and then there's a specific reason that Percy stayed.
Oh, didn't Percy stay? Percy stayed because he had a girlfriend. And then we all know.
No. Now that could be a secret reason. That could have been an unspoken reason. Okay, so the Weasley children stayed at Hogwarts because they didn't want to visit Bill in Egypt.
Oh, okay.
Which sounds like a stupid reason because
Why?
I would be all about that.
Yeah, why didn't they want to?
Makes no sense.
They're all jealous of him or something?
Yeah, it makes no sense. And
Huh.
then Percy stayed because he said that as a prefect, it's my duty to help and assist the professors in this time of
Yeah,
this
that makes
contentious
sense.
time.
So they kind of had the castle all to themselves, but you had explained to me earlier that it seemed like there was quite a bit of people there. So are you kind of talking about the movies, or because in the
No, in the books,
books?
so there's a couple phrases that they say in the book. One, Malfoy was sitting over at the Slytherin table. So we know that all four tables are there. And then later when we get into the Slytherin common room, when they walk in there, there's already Slytherins hanging out
Huh.
in the common room. So this chapter makes it seem like, oh, it's pretty common to have a lot of students sticking around for the holidays. Now, in later books, it does not have that feeling.
Yeah.
But again,
Yeah.
books one and books two, I don't think she's really concerned with the consistency or, what it's going to be like. She's just writing stories at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes it sound like, yeah, there's several people there. They're not even eating at the same tables. There's that many people.
Yeah. Oh, I guess be that as it may, there was a lot less students there,
For sure.
so they had a lot more time to be able to do what they needed to do, really. And right now, it's Christmas, and the Polyjuice Potion was ready. Christmas indeed. Chapter notable number 4, but more importantly, was a gift from the Dursleys that Hedwig brought. This is possibly the best part about Christmas in the Harry Potter
Jeez.
books.
Jeez.
So, I want anybody listening right now just think, what do you think the Dursleys brought Harry Potter? I'll give you a couple seconds to think about that. Okay, so they brought him a toothpick and a note asking if he would be staying at Hogwarts over the holidays.
Over the summer holidays. Yeah.
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 Oh, it's so
Yeah.
great. Ah, she just nails them every time. So good.
So good.
They're not even there, and you're just like, the Dursleys. That's great.
The worst.
But his other good, a bit more practical. Hagrid, a tin of treacle toffee. Ron, a book called Flying with the Cannons, a Quidditch-related book. Hermione, a luxury eagle feather quill, which for a 12-year-old, it's like, yeah, thanks. For me,
Could you imagine?
Yeah,
Could you
give me
imagine
that
being in
quill.
school and your friends are like, bro, I got you a box of number 2 pencils.
my son would love that.
There you go. Oh, well, there you go. There you go.
I tell people, you want to give him something, give him like a whole bunch of notebook paper and some pencils. He'll love you for it.
There you go.
He likes it. And Mrs. Weasley, a hand-knitted sweater and a large plum cake.
I would take anything that Mrs. Weasley baked or sewed.
The sweaters, though, like I don't
that's
think I could
amazing.
wear it. Not out of embarrassment, just I don't want to be itchy. Like that's wool, right? Like, I'm assuming that's wool,
I mean, it could be.
and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
So it's Christmas Day, and nothing screams Christmas like finding out if Draco Malfoy is the heir of Slytherin. Okay, that's how
Sure.
every year. That's how I try to celebrate Christmas. So yeah, Hermione comes up to their dormitory, which they're like, "What are you doing? You can't be here." She's like, "Shut your mouth. I've been up, added some more lacewing flies. It's ready. We're doing this tonight." So the last ingredient of the Polyjuice Potion is you have to have a bit of the person that you're going to change into.
Which makes sense.
Which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
That's got to be
I think it
DNA
does.
has to be an
Yeah.
ingredient. So Hermione, pretty much being the brains of the operation, came up with what I'm going to say is a good chunk of the plans. So she had
I'm not
filled.
going to say it's a good chunk of the plan. I'm going to say it's all of the plan.
Well,
I don't think they could
she
have pulled this off without Hermione.
correct, but we'll get to in a second why I think some of the plan was a little dumb.
Yeah.
So so she had filled two cupcakes with a sleeping draft, a sleeping spell that they're going to give to Crab and Goyle. She already had hair from Millicent Bulstrode, which is chapter notable number 5, and we talked about this in the dueling club
Hmm.
when she wrestled with Millicent. So here it is. It's playing out. So when she had wrestled with Millicent, she got a hair from him. Boom. So with the hairs in hand, it was time to add the last ingredient to the Polyjuice Potion. So after dinner, Harry and Ron, Crab and Goyle. So they give them they have them sitting there, Crab and Goyle being Crab and Goyle. They eat them, and they immediately pass out. So they drag them into a broom closet, and they get their robes, they get their shoes, because they're like, yeah, as we, you know, our shoes aren't going to fit. So yeah, so smart. So they go and they put the ingredients into the Polyjuice Potion, and the potion is described as thick, dark mud bubbling sluggishly. And once they drink it, they have 1 hour, and then they're going to turn back into themselves, which they could have easily planned. Hey, let's make a little extra in case this mission goes over. In case it takes us a little longer than an hour, let's make a little spare.
I think that would have been hard to do because with those specific ingredients, very, 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 very specific, turning it certain ways at certain times. How would you know how much to put in if you wanted a little bit extra? Like I would assume if you keep making it and keep making it, you kind of get used to it. But the first time
Sure,
making
sure,
it,
sure. I mean, I
uh,
assume, I mean, she's got a cauldron full.
there's probably
So
something still in there.
I don't think that they made, I don't think that she made, exactly 3 cups full. I think
Yeah.
that there would have been a spare. But anyway,
I thought it would have been funny if when Guardia and Leviosa they're levitating the cupcakes, if Ron would have been like, "Oh man, I'm hungry. Come on, Harry, just one bite, it will be fine."
yes, yes.
But anyways, the Polyjuice Potion, how it's described and how it sounds even nastier than the bone regrowing potion Harry had drank, the Skelegrow.
Skelligro.
After drinking and transforming into Crab, Ron, and Goyle, Harry, Hermione seemed too nervous all of a sudden and made them go at the task alone. There's a lot to this Polyjuice Potion, so keep an eye out for a side quest, which I'm hoping that I already have made.
Ooh.
I think I do. Hopefully. Let's just keep it simple here and say you look and sound exactly like who you are becoming. So don't confuse this with the movies.
So
The move,
annoying.
well, the movies. The only reason Crab and Goyle, Harry and Ron still sounded like Harry and Ron was to not confuse the audience.
So
That's
annoying.
all. Yeah, that's all it was. Yeah, they should have just confused the audience. Whatever,
Just confuse the
you know.
audience. If you're
Yeah.
following along, because they Harry, Ron, I mean, come on,
Yeah.
come on.
The thing that I don't like here is so up here the Polyjuice Potion described as thick, dark mud bubbling sluggishly. That sounds disgusting.
Ugh.
Like I'm gonna drink it and puke. But they described it as tasting like overcooked cabbage, which doesn't sound that bad.
Have
They
you
should
eaten
have used a
overcooked
different
cabbage?
description. I can guarantee I've overcooked cabbage, but they should have used a different descriptor. That does
Yeah.
that sounds like okay, and
Yeah.
like no big
Yeah.
deal. Thick dark mud bubbling sluggishly. That sounds like I'm gonna throw up.
I think that was a line written for 11 and 12-year-olds.
They could have used something better. I mean, even for an 11 and
Overcooked
12-year-olds.
Yeah. Number one, cabbage is garbage to a 12-year-old. To now say it's
I don't
overcooked,
like
like,
cabbage
oh, it's
either.
even worse.
Sometimes my girlfriend, she'll make some soup or something, and I'm like, you put cabbage in here, didn't you? She's like, yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
just don't.
Don't ever do it
Just
again.
don't.
That's right. So here's another reason why I think it's a half-hearted plan. So now they're Crab, now they're Goyle, and they've got to figure out where the Slytherin common room is. You've had over a month. This potion, you knew you were going to turn into Crab and Goyle. You've had over a month. At no point in that time were you like, well, you know what we should do? We should figure out where Malfoy might be. So it's
Well,
like,
okay, I can argue that.
oh, ooh, 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 ooh.
What do you think Snape would have said if he caught them down there? I mean, who cares if they're down there, honestly? But if Snape saw them,
We got lost. We know they're in the dungeons. They've got classes in the dungeons. All you got to do is, be absent-minded. Oh, they're going over there. What are you doing down there? Oh, we were just reading.
I could
we were
picture
just
Snape.
reading.
Oh, you got lost. Detention, Mr. Weasley. Detention, Mr. Potter.
And Hermione said that would have been worth it because she's a Muggle, and we got to figure out who to slew. All I'm saying,
Yeah.
you could have figured out where this common room was, but you got lucky.
It's very fitting for Crabbe and Goyle, though, to
Very
be
fitting,
lost.
yeah. So they're
she made
slow,
it work. She
they're
made it work.
dumb-witted, and they're kind of, Harry's telling Ron, "Oh, don't swing with your arms like that." Crabbe kind of, walks like he would drag his knuckles. So they go and they see one girl. They're like, "Hey, do you remember where our common room is?" And it's a Slytherin girl, or it's a Ravenclaw girl.
Ravenclaw, yeah.
And she's like, bruh, we are not in the same house. Then later,
Well,
they
I
see
like the way it
Percy.
sounds like listening to the book. She's like, yeah, I'm a Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
She just sounded very Ravenclaw,
Which she could have been a chapter notable. Right? This Ravenclaw girl could have been a chapter notable. She comes up later.
Didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah. So then we run into Percy, and Percy's like, what are you two? Or they're like, what are you doing here? And Percy's like, I'm a prefect. I can do whatever I want to. And then they hear Malfoy come in, and they're like, oh, Harry had never been happier to see Malfoy.
Well, it's funny because it's almost like they forgot they were Crabbe and Goyle. What are you doing here? Yeah.
Yeah. What are you doing here? It's like, I'm a prefect. Get out of my face. So then Malfoy comes, and he's a little rude to him, but they leave. So like, okay, let's go. First bit of information that we get, Malfoy thinks that Percy was trying to find the heir of Slytherin all by himself and take all of the credit, which they were very happy that Malfoy is bringing up the heir of Slytherin. Each and every house has a password to their dormitory. Usually it's something simple. Sometimes it's weird plant stuff or a spell. But in this case, Slytherin, chapter notable number 6, the password is pure blood, which is
I can't believe that.
Yeah, very
That's very is this even a word? Audastic?
Yeah.
I mean,
Audastic. I don't think so, but I think we all understand.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So basically, what's interesting? So in the books, we know that Gryffindor have to give their password to the fat lady, and then she lets them in. We know in later books, in the 7th book, that Ravenclaw, there's a knocker there, and the eagle asks a riddle.
Yeah, how annoying. How
know.
annoying.
And they have
I would never be able to get in.
Yeah.
Just like PTSD of you asking me, pop quiz, crap, what am I going to get wrong now?
Could you imagine these Ravenclaws cramming for finals, and the Ravenclaw, the thing's like, I've got a riddle for you. Why don't you just shut up and let me in, okay? Just let me in. So I wonder what the Slytherins, what they're saying the password to.
Yeah, that's curious.
Just curious. There could have been a little more entertaining information there. So So anyway, Slytherin Common Room is basically the stone dungeon, very uninviting. And in later books, or maybe in this chapter, I can't remember, it's it's almost got this greenish tint, like it's beneath the lake, right?
Yeah.
And they kind of get that green kind of reflection in there. So kind of a spooky, uninviting place. But as we said earlier, when they walk in, there are other Slytherins already in the common room hanging out. And then Malfoy shows him something that he thought was funny, and it was a clipping from the Daily Prophet. And this is what it said. Arthur Weasley, head of the misuse of Muggle Artifacts Office, was today fined 50 galleons for bewitching a Muggle car. Mr. Lucius Malfoy, a governor of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, where the enchanted car crashed earlier this year, called today for Mr. Weasley's resignation. Weasley has brought the ministry into disrepute, Mr. Malfoy told the reporter. He is clearly unfit to draw up our laws, and his ridiculous Muggle Protection Act should be scrapped immediately. Mr. Weasley was unavailable for comment, although his wife told the reporters to clear off or she'd set the family ghoul on them. You know, Mr. Malfoy and I do agree on a little bit. He shouldn't be allowed to write laws if he's just going to flippantly break them. Okay?
Yeah.
Government, people. Government. I've said my piece. I go fanatical on it.
Well, this could also, it's not a notable, but it could be. The way Lucius Malfoy is always calling for someone's resignation.
Here's what's wild. Here's what's weird to me. So, what day does school start?
For us, it's August.
No.
You mean
Nobody cares about you.
September 1st?
September 1st. So this happened on September 1st. October, November, December's already over. It's been 3 months, and now they're coming out. Now they're coming down with, you've got to assume. Well, I mean, people
had to look into it, but still.
Yeah, well, I guess so, but it took a while. Government drags their feet.
Yep. Although Mr. Malfoy. Nope, not Mr. Although Malfoy found this, Draco Malfoy found this funny, Harry and Ron's hour was ticking away. They asked Malfoy who he thought the heir might be, and Malfoy said he didn't know. And I think he said, I've already told you this, stop asking me.
Yeah.
He's kind of getting irritated. All they were really able to find out was that the Chamber of Secrets was open 50 years ago, and a mudblood died, which Malfoy sounded really happy about, which leads me back to what I've talked about before. Children pay attention to their parents. Even when he is a picture-perfect replica of Lucius Malfoy, but you can kind of tell it's not really him. So It's like, do we ever really know, Draco? Or is it Draco through the eyes a reflection of his father?
That's a good question. I mean, it's such a good question. You come with nature versus nurture. His environment. We are all products of our environment.
Yeah,
good and bad.
We see hints of good in him.
Yeah,
and
we see hints of good, especially
when you see those hints of good, you go, "Oh, there he is."
Yeah.
Yeah. But Malfoy, because, like I say, because his father is in favor of pureblood, so is he. But he says something real nasty. He says,
"Yeah,
I hope it's Granger."
If you didn't like him, if you were on the fence, with Draco, now the fact that he was happy that a mudblood died, and he's hoping that it's Granger.
Yeah, no, that's rotten to the core.
Yeah.
Draco, he also let them know that the person who opened the chamber last time was expelled, and that's also something to pay attention to.
Yeah, something to pay attention to because it's cool. This is one of those where we learned something in one book, and now it's coming back up in another book, which I love. I love how JK does that.
Continuity, gotta love it.
Yeah, so we learned something pretty interesting about Draco and his father, because Draco mentioned that his father told him that the heir of Slytherin to kind of stay out of the way. Let the heir of Slytherin do what it needs to do because the school needs to be rid, of all the mudblood filth, and don't get mixed up in it. They're going to have their time. And he also mentioned that his father's got a lot on his plate at the moment, which would be chapter notable number 7, that the Ministry of Magic raided their manor last week, which they should have. Harry found out in August at Nocturne Alley that this was happening. So it's like, oh, it just got raided last week. Again, what are we moving so slow for?
Yeah.
So then Draco was like, well, they didn't get much because we got some very valuable dark arts stuff that's hidden in a secret chamber under the drawing room floor.
Not so secret now, Draco. Good job, idiot.
Yes, yes. But their hour was up. Harry turns to Ron and he sees that Crabbe's hair is turning red and his nose is changing. So they were starting to turn back into themselves. So they get up and they're like, oh, God, don't feel so good. And earlier they were like, where have you been? When Draco was like, where have you been? He's like, oh, not feeling well. And he's like, oh, you know what? You should go up to the hospital and kick some of the muggles there for me. Like, what a jerk. Yeah. So anyway, they jump up like, oh, we got to go, not feeling well. So they go back to tell Hermione what happened, and that's when they found out that the hair that Hermione had put in her Polyjuice Potion was actually not Millicent Bulstrode's. It wasn't a human hair. It was actually a cat, and that Millicent must have had a cat, and we learned that the Polyjuice Potion... Whoa!
Yeah, I think you were kind of getting into that, so I had to hit the button. What is wrong about putting the cat hair in a Polyjuice Potion versus a human hair? What's the issue here?
Well, Polyjuice Potion is only meant for human to human transformation. Nothing else.
And what happens if you put a non-human thing in it?
You become a hybrid of the thing. So she puts in a cat hair. She didn't turn into a cat like an animagus would, but she turns into this humanoid feline, basically. So she's still able to speak. She's still able to stand.
And it doesn't just go away, right?
Yeah, no.
I have to look into that, how long it takes that to go, if it does go away, or if... Because she had to go to a hospital wing, so...
Yeah, she does go to the hospital wing.
And which, Madame Pomfrey, I would assume she's not completely clueless.
No.
She has to know what happened. I mean, I guess now that I say that out loud, there are maybe she thought, oh, these kids and their transfiguration. Maybe.
Well, and it's also one of those things where... I don't think Madame Pomfrey is keeping secrets from Dumbledore or, like Professor McGonagall, who's the head of Gryffindor House.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't, in a realistic, if she was writing this like book 6, 7, it would be like, okay, we need to talk to Hermione. What did you do?
Yeah. Like I said, when I said it that last, you probably just transfiguration. These students, when will they learn? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right, so we'll go ahead and get into the I'm going to go ahead and take the wheel with this one real quick. This chapter, I knew it was going to happen too. When I said chapter 11, she finally nailed it down. It's all uphill from there. And then we get this chapter, which is great. It could have been longer. It could have been a lot longer and a lot more detailed. I think there's too much left unsaid. Yeah. It was a good chapter, but there's something missing from it. Something missing from it for me.
Yeah, I think so. I think it could have gotten a lot deeper because we learn, the conversation with Draco was super important. We get some great foreshadowing in there. Again, wanted so much more from Harry's visit with Dumbledore. And
it kind of just gave me like the gist of Polyjuice Potion. Like, just go all in on it.
Yeah. Yeah, important, but I think it could have been done. I think it could have been done a little better.
Yeah, all in all, good chapter though. But yeah, it seemed to kind of backtrack my thoughts a little bit there, but it's all good. They can't all be winners. Thank you for listening, everybody. We would appreciate a rate and review if the platform you're listening on lets you have that option.
Yeah.
As always, don't forget to follow and share this podcast with another Potter fan. Join us next time as we review Chapter 13 of the Chamber of Secrets, The Very Secret Diary. And I'll sign us out with this. The truth is a beautiful and terrible thing, and should therefore be treated with great caution. And I'd like to add, if you have a secret, make sure the whole school knows. Squibs Corner is hosted by Jeremiah Lobo and co-host by Andrew Beecham. We would love to hear from you, so drop us a rate and review to inquire about being a guest and for questions, comments, or to just give us your Harry Potter story. Email us at squibscorner@gmail.com. To watch Harry Potter merch unboxings, follow my YouTube, Accio Potter Guy. Lastly, you can leave us a voice memo, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Squibs Corner.